Guys, you know what I hate? Like, I truly don't like it. You're watching Full Mountain, so you know the main. I hate when fans say, I'm gonna bet on you. Do a better deal. Invest in me, invest in your future fighter, invest in the next fighter. Think you know which prospects will be the future champs? If so, invest in Prediction Strike. I'm up 17% this year, and I'll go up even more after kicking Jack's. So don't forget to use code FULL when you're on Prediction Strike's app and get, I think, a little discount or a little promo code. Who knows? We'll go find out.
Sean Strickland thanks all of his fans. Sean posted this to his Instagram. He wrote, "Just wanted to say thank you guys. Not just for this fight, but my career, my life. Literally, it's all because of you guys. Anyways, thank you and on to the next."
What up, guys? I had to take a forced vacation and let the stitches come out of my foot. But anyways, man, it's weird. I've always been kind of pseudo-famous, but now everywhere I go, someone recognizes me. And even today, it happened like 3 or 4 times. Someone will ask me for a picture and then apologize for asking me for a picture. But at the end of the day, guys, man, I don't have a job. I don't lay concrete. I'm not a mechanic, dude. I'm just a guy that hits people. So, like, I am so grateful that you guys watch me, because my life, my bike, everything I have is because you guys watch me, man. So it's not an inconvenience, and I am so grateful for you guys allowing me to have a good life.
Kevin Holland lists his most memorable UFC fights to date. Be sure to go subscribe to Kevin's YouTube channel. Links in the description.
You know what? Man, my dad's gonna kill me for this. Travis Lutter, he's gonna kill me for this one. But it's always been Silva fights. You know, it's like I remember sitting on the couch watching Silva, and I ordered the fight. You know, I was at home pretty much by myself. I watched Silva throw the front kick to Vitor Belfort's chin, and I went ballistic. You know, first live fight that I ever went to for, especially for MMA, was you know, Anderson Silva stepping back and touching somebody who I thought was going to win the fight, and somebody till this day I think is a fantastic person, Forrest Griffin. He touched Forrest Griffin on the back step, got the TKO win. It was beautiful. So Anderson Silva for sure has always been somebody that kind of like, you know, watching his fights. I can't say one or the other, but just watching his fights kind of, you know what I mean? Got me lit.
Yeah.
And a prime Anthony Pettis.
Yeah, dude, he's crazy. Crazy.
Just lit.
Insane.
Jumping off cages and stud, bro. Shout out to Anthony Pettis. We need to get Anthony Pettis on here one day.
He was at the Jake Paul fight doing his thing, blinged out.
Yeah, and you know what? He was at, I think he was at a contender fight not too long ago or something like that. But I remember seeing him somewhere. So you might be right. I might be just getting hit in the head too much.
Yeah, he was. And shout out to man, AJ Bellator. Hey, bro,
AJ
he was.
McGee.
Hey, this weekend he was shined up, bro.
Yeah.
He was shined up.
Aljamain Sterling breaks down the difference between fighters who throw big punches in bunches versus fighters who are snipers that don't throw a lot of combinations. Aljo uses his loss to Sean O'Malley and Sean Strickland defeating Israel Adesanya as examples.
So with Israel's style, I think there's some deficiency. There's always a deficiency with a certain style if you can expose it, right? You break it down, making adjustments in the middle of the competition and being able to fight a different way and not just one set way the entire time. Izzy doesn't throw a lot of combinations. I don't throw a lot of combinations. There's a lot of fighters that fight like that, where it's just one-off, but there's also a lot of guys who throw in big punches and bunches, and those guys tend to be a bit more dangerous, but then you have the snipers. Obviously, I'm gonna give credit. O'Malley, he's good at that when guys rush in, myself. You have Izzy, who's caught a lot of guys like that, catching Robert Whittaker, catching a few other guys, knocking them out. Catching Brunson, a few other guys like that. You have to, I just feel the way Sean fought was beautiful in the sense that he kept tracking him down, and every time Izzy would feint, he would just hold his ground. He wouldn't run into it. He didn't overly bite and react on the feints. He just kind of kept his hands here, where if Izzy did throw, he was able to kind of deflect it a little bit, or where he would break the rhythm and utilize that stiff jab. There was a point where I think Izzy in the 4th round kind of like just exhaled, and then there was like a big snot of blood that just came running out of his nose. It looked like a big chunk just fell out. It was kind of gross. But I asked the other guys, I was like, did anybody else see that? That was a lot of blood coming out. His nose might be pretty busted right now. But again, going back to the brilliance of Sean Strickland, that pressure, I've seen him do to the guys multiple times, time and time again, in the training room. And He's doing it against better and better guys. And for him to do it on the biggest stage of his career and on short notice, guys, give this man his flowers, because that was a beautiful shutout performance. I mean, obviously 49, 48, 46, but still, that's as close to a shutout as it gets.
Derek Brunson is no longer with the UFC. This is pretty random because Derek was literally booked to fight at UFC 295 against Roman Dolidze. Roman responded to this saying, "No matter what happened, wish you luck in your next journey." Brunson's manager Ali Abdelaziz released a statement. He said Derek Brunson has been under the UFC umbrella for 11 years. He had an amazing career there. The last 7, he's been in the top 10 rankings. The UFC was amazing to him there. Helped shape who he is today, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity he was given. He has to move on, and looking forward to what comes next for him. Chael Sonnen had some harsh words for Ian Garry over his assessment of Sean Strickland's victory over Israel Adesanya. Earlier this week, Ian said that Izzy lost the fight more than Sean won it. Speaking to Ariel Helwani, Ian said, "I feel like Izzy lost the fight more than Sean Strickland won the fight. I feel like there was a certain point in that fight where Izzy was afraid to lose more than he wanted to win. That has essentially meant that his efficiency, his output, his shot selection wasn't as elite as it normally is, and it gave Sean Strickland the opportunity for his awkwardness to have success, his constant pressure to have success. I feel like if you run that fight back, there's no way Sean Strickland gets his hand raised again. That's my opinion. But at the end of the day, Sean Strickland got his hand raised, and I can never shoot a man for reaching his dream." Now, Chael Sonnen responded to this statement via his YouTube channel. Chael said, "Here is where I will tell you the author of that statement, and I would generally preface it by saying don't make fun of people with special needs. Or I would say I swear that person doesn't have special needs. Or I remind you not to say things like, that's a really, and it starts with an R to describe somebody's stupidity. That was insane. That was done by Ian Garry. I couldn't believe it. Was it a drunk Ian Garry? I don't think so. He looked perfectly sober. That is just not an analysis. You go watch Izzy and you go watch Sean fight. It's a one-sided kicking. The whole thing comes to an end, and Ian Garry believes that it wasn't Sean that did a great job, it was Izzy that beat himself up. At what point? At what point, Ian Machado Garry, can I go back and look into that fight and find Israel Adesanya punching himself in the face? I know it's a fun thing to say. It's generally passed down from father to son because the father is the supportive one. It's not passed. Just so you know, Ian Machado Garry, it's not passed by you in this side of the world to Israel in this side of the world. Front seat to back seat. Upstairs to downstairs. And the reason it's done like that is because it's a coping mechanism. And the reason it's not your place to cope is you're not his people. Not to mention that was a really stupid thing to say. And that's gonna wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post future ones. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. These comments are in reference to the backlash that Izzy is getting over how long his fingernails were in the fight against Sean Strickland. The first one's from Samer2256. It says it's crazy how Adesanya was planning to humiliate Strickland if he win. Then he proceeded to beg Strickland to not trash talk him immediately after the fight. Just hypocrite. The second one's from a kind troll 28. It says Izzy saying before the fight that he wanted to taunt Strickland with the painted nails after the KO and call him a ass only proves to me that, had he won, he wouldn't have taken the respectful route. And the final one says, I don't know the rules, but those should be illegal. Just imagine breaking a nail mid-fight and then scratching someone's eye with it. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured on the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. If you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen to get caught up. And make sure to go subscribe to our second channel where we post our exclusive MMA interviews.